Aloha, everybody. It is I, the Great Clement, and today, ladies and gentlemen, do not adjust your internet settings, do not check your monitor. This is not a rerun. This, ladies and gentlemen, is The Legend of the Mystical Ninja, one of my favorite Super Nintendo video games of all time. And I've actually done a playthrough of this game already, but it was a long, long time ago. You want to know how long ago that was? That was back in 2009. 11 years ago, I did a playthrough of this when I was just starting out on my YouTube channel. Now, the thing about my old videos is that the microphone was terrible. The video quality wasn't that great, and I didn't really have the confidence that I do nowadays, so I was probably a lot shakier with my commentary. I probably said the R word far too many times, and I was younger, okay? I was younger. I was 21 back then. Now I'm 32. But anywho, I wanted to play through this game again because my next LP is kind of tangentially connected to this one. And, I've never done a redo playthrough before. I've never gone back and visited a game I've already done for the channel before. So why not start with this one? Hey, Kid Ying, have you heard the news? What are you talking about? You know, about that beautiful girl. I've heard this one before. Oh, you mean the ghost woman of the temple? Yeah, that's the one. Something terrible has happened. Oh no. Hey, no close-ups. That's no way for a good ghost to act. She shouldn't hurt people. That ghost has some nerve. I'll show her that I'm a brave man. I like Goemon's face there. Talk is cheap. Let's go. I'm with you, Dr. Yang. Okay, so if you're at all familiar with this series, this is actually one of Konami's bigger platformer series. In Japan, this is known as the Ganbare Goemon series, but in North America, it is referred to as the Mystical Ninja series, hence the Legend of the Mystical Ninja. Now, this isn't actually the first entry of the series. They've had, like, the arcade game Mr. Goemon, Ganbare Goemon 1 and 2 on the Famicom and stuff like that. I think this is like the 5th release for this series, possibly. But I might be getting that wrong. Don't ask... Like, I am not an encyclopedia when it comes to the Ganbare Goemon, stuff regarding Konami and whatnot. Because, hey, if it didn't come to North America, chances are I don't know a lot about it, I only know about all of the North American Mystical Ninja games that have come out, whether it was on the Game Boy, whether it's Goemon's Great Adventure, and a fantastic N64 game that maybe we'll see one day. But this one I grew up with. Don't hit the woman. She gives you $50 if you run into her. But this game I've had ever since I was like 6 or 7 years old. My mom bought me this for my Super Nintendo when I was a wee little tyke. And I loved it. I loved it to death because it had a fantastic soundtrack. It's a really fun beat 'em up with a good sense of humor. And there's a lot of like variety and stuff to do in this game beyond just the beat 'em up aspects. I guess the biggest way to describe The Legend of Mystical Ninja, it's sort of like a crossover between, The Legend of Zelda and just a regular platformer, Like, it has like the beat 'em up town exploration, talk to NPCs kind of stuff of a Zelda game. You can visit stores and buy items and stuff. In fact, when I go into this store, I'm going to buy a whole bunch of sandals because that actually makes your characters faster, and they actually stack on top of each other. So if you look in the bottom left corner of the screen, 2, 3, look how much bigger that stack is. And that makes me a lot faster. It allows me to maneuver and walk around town a lot quicker than I normally would. So, yeah, it's good to go fast. Gotta go fast. You all know my channel by now. You gotta go fast. But, obviously it costs money. And the thing is, if you get hit, if you take damage from any of the enemies who are walking around, which is basically anyone walking around aside from the women, then you will lose those sandals, and then you'll be knocked down a peg. You'll go a little bit slower every time you take damage. Yeah. By the way, the woman you run into who gives you like $50, Her name in the North American localization, according to the instruction manual, is Ramona Kimona. So you don't want to hurt Ramona Kimona, because if you hurt her, you'll actually lose money. And I think you get downgraded from your weapon type. I might be wrong about that, but I know you lose money for sure. And that's why if you see a woman, don't you dare hurt them. Just walk into them in order to get a cash reward. I don't know how that works. It's an old kooky video game, and this is a very, very, very kooky video game. I'm a fortune teller. I'll tell you. You are hero of this story, aren't you? You will do a good job throughout your long journey. Well, thanks, man. I'd like to think I will. Thanks you very much. The fortune teller can actually give you a benefit later when his shop is properly running, but a lot of the shops aren't really running right now. You have to wait until you do your first action stage. Because again, there's like town exploration moments like this where I'm just beating up people, and they usually drop money or they drop scrolls. Scrolls are useful when you're actually in the action stages for unleashing special attacks, and you have to collect 10 scrolls in order to get a POW move. So you'll notice at the top of the screen, there's the health bar. The heads under the health bar are your extra lives, so I have 2 lives right now. Well, technically I have 3, since having no lives counts as a life by itself, so I have 3 lives, really. And the POW, right next to the heads, that is how many scrolls I've picked up. I picked up at least 10. And when I pick up another 10, it'll be POW number 2. A strange cloud is coming from the north. I'm scared. Oh. So yeah, we are in Edo, Japan, and there's a temple with a ghost lady, and she's up to no good, as we saw in the introduction of this playthrough. And now she's just turned all of the villagers into monsters. She's turned them into ghosts and weird fuzzballs. Weird fuzzballs who roll around. A horrible ghost has appeared in Horo Temple. I'm afraid. Be careful, Kid Ying. So that's the last time I'm going to refer to this character as Kid Ying. In the localization for the first ever Super Nintendo game, they call him Kid Ying, and they call his teammate Dr. Yang. This is a co-op game, as you can probably guess from the way the information is arranged on the screen right now. Because you can play this co-op. This is a co-op game that you can play with your friends. And the second character is referred to as Dr. Yang. The main character is referred to as Kid Ying. Yin and Yang, haha. But, the hell are those things? They look like the Sugar Crisp guy, or the Honeycomb guy. Which was it? Sugar Crisp, Honeycomb? I don't remember. My memory's terrible. My memory's terrible. You want Honeycomb! But, the town is full of ghosts. I'm really, really scared. Oh, God. A lot of people might miss that enemy type if they don't come back down here, because really all you have to do is keep moving on to the temple, take on the ghost lady. And, yeah, that's it. But anywho, in all the other Mystical Ninja games that get released, they actually properly localize the characters' names to what they are in the Japanese games. So Kid Ying is actually known as Goemon, sort of based off of the folklore legend Goemon from Japan. And the other character, Dr. Yang, is referred to as Ebisumaru. Now, for the consistency of the next playthrough I'm doing after this one, because that's the game I wanted to really do in 2020, I'm going to keep calling the main character Goemon and his buddy Ebisumaru, because that's what they're really supposed to be called. That's what they're going to be called in the next game that I play, and why not, you know? Nobody likes to think of these characters as Kid Ying and Dr. Yang. When we got a costume in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate of Goemon, they didn't call him the Kid Ying costume, it was the Goemon costume, because that's his name, that's the name of the series, Ganbare Goemon. So he's Goemon, and yeah, I'm just going to stick to that name for the rest of the playthrough. So I am whacking enemies with a pipe, and every time you beat up enemies, every now and then they'll drop a lucky cat. And the lucky cat actually upgrades your weapons. It's sort of similar to like Castlevania, where in Castlevania you'd keep picking up these upgrades for your whip. Speaking of, If you hit that wall, you'll pop out a Kid Dracula face, which is worth $100. So I just got myself $100 for finding Kid Dracula's head. Very odd, very odd. This is a raccoon dog, and totally not a tanuki. Yes, a raccoon dog, and he's sort of your gatekeeper every time you go to an action stage. But like I said, when you kill enemies, sometimes they drop money, sometimes they drop scrolls to help with your POW moves, and they'll also drop lucky cats. And when you start off, you have a small pipe, you get a lucky cat, you get a big pipe, you get another lucky cat, and you'll get the Yokohama Yo-Yo, which has a very, very long reach, but you can't use it as frequently as the pipe because, you know, you can't swing as often. It's a very long wind-up, you know? So sometimes I actually like to deliberately avoid the yo-yo just because I think the long pipe has enough reach as it is, and it allows me to swing very, very quickly to defeat bosses and enemies a lot quicker than I normally would. Oh boy, fireballs. Just ring the bell and they all die, and you get a lot of cash for it. I love it. But yeah, folks, this is an action stage. So we obviously ditched the town aesthetic. We can't go up and down. This is a 2D side-scroller. You can drop down from ledges by holding down and pushing the jump button. You can actually swing upwards and swing right above you, which I love. You can even do it when you're jumping. So if you jump, hold up, and then push the attack button while you're in midair, you can still aim upwards and hit fireballs like I just did right there. So that's pretty awesome, pretty awesome. You'll notice that sometimes Goemon kind of like slides down on the ground, and he's like kind of humping the ground as he moves around. When you crouch, you know, they just lie down on their bellies on the ground, but you can also move while you're crouching, so you can just kind of slide along the ground, and it's pretty goofy, but I likes it. Okay, so now it's the Ghost Woman, and what the Ghost Woman does is she has all of these plates that she holds up, and then she sends them out at you, and you want to hit the plates back at her because you can't hurt the Ghost Woman otherwise. She's very, corporeal, you know, there's nothing to hit, really. But the laser discs, the laser plates, the laser frisbees, I don't know what you call them. They absolutely do damage, and of course, it's the first boss in the game, so it's nothing too crazy. Oh my, you're so strong. I'm the ninja cat Kurobe. I've been waiting for someone to help me out of here. There is no time to explain. Take this $100 and hurry to Shikoku Island. Go see the cat boss, Koban. Will do, Kurobe, will do. So yeah, folks, that was the first action stage of the game, and now everything's back to normal. All the people are no longer ghosts, they're no longer monsters, they're just back to their normal asshole selves. Oh, they're all assholes, every one of these guys. They're all out to kill you, they're all out to just, well, you know, they just, like, hurt you by running into you. It's not like they're trying to attack you, but, you know. Contact damage is a thing in this universe, and I don't want to run into them, so hey, they're all assholes to me. But this means that all of the shops are now active. All of the shops and their little gimmicks are open. So I go into this place, and this is actually a maze. Do I want to participate? Of course I do. So with this section, you go into a maze, and you actually have a first-person kind of view, like it's some kind of old Dungeons and Dragons type game. And I just move left and right by pushing left and right, and then I move forward by pushing up. And you can find scrolls, you can find $100 to immediately get the money that you spent to go in here back, so you don't actually lose money by completing this stuff. Find myself a map, so I can actually see everything in the area. Booyah. Although, you can actually check your map before you get a map. So, like, you can see how far you've gone and where you came from and where you are in relation to everything else, even if you don't have a map. So it's not hard to find out where you are, you know. And what's in here? A red question mark box. That red question mark box is an extra life. It is a 1-up. So I just gained myself another life count by picking that up. And you can repeat this maze, by the way. If you want to go back in and do it all over again, you can, and all of the prizes, they restock, so you can get more scrolls, you can get bombs, you can get an extra life all over again. So I'm not going to do it a second time. I'm good with the extra life that I just got. But you see, I have 3 heads now instead of the normal 2, so that's a little different. Aw, yeah, aw, yeah. I need a bigger pipe. I took too many hits. And this asshole right here, he just took my money! That enemy, the one in the white gi costume, if he runs into you, the balding man, he takes $50 away from you, and there's no way to get it back even when you kill him. I mean, you'll get like 10 bucks back when you defeat him, but not the full 50. And that's no good. That's no good. So one thing worth mentioning is that you do only have the pipe, which upgrades into the bigger pipe, which upgrades into the Yokohama Yo-Yo. But you do have the ability to throw projectiles. You can actually throw your money at people, which, of course, wastes your money, but it is a ranged attack thing that you can do. You can throw your money at people, and you can also buy bombs to throw at a curved angle, and it does maybe 2 hits sometimes. You know, it's not my go-to weapon. I don't think bombs are that useful, but it's something you can do. This minigame, ever since I was like 6, 7 years old, and even in the first Let's Play, I commented on this, and I still, like 11 years later, I still don't know how the hell you play this. I read the instructions. I read it, you know. It's like you hold up the button to send it farther, and you're supposed to throw it when the vase is above the jar on the dude's head, but I don't get it. I don't get it. I've practiced that a million times, and I've touched it a million times, and I just don't get it. I just don't understand how that game is played, and I've never seen anyone do a playthrough of Mystical Ninja where they do it as well, so I just don't know how you play Goblin. I think it's a scam. I think it's absolutely a scam. Like, oh, you only want to pay $60 in order to earn money? Well, then fine, play this dumb shit. Then you don't get anything worthwhile if you're just going to pay $60, you cheapskate. Ugh. Where did the ghost go? We are glad that the city returned to the way it was before. The localization might be a little sloppy, but you know, this is 1992. This game came out in 1992, so you gotta give it a little bit of slack, Hey Goemon, why don't you visit the travel agency located in the suburbs? Well, if I have to go to Shikoku Island in order to help Koban, the cat boss, then I think I should probably do that. And that's how you end this particular stage. But I took too much damage along the way, and I lost all my sandals, so I'm going to restock on all of those. The pizza that I already picked up, that's sort of like an extra buffer for health. Like, if I were to take another hit, I would probably die normally, because it takes 2 units of health away whenever you run into somebody, right? But the pizza will actually refill your entire life bar, or at least some of your life bar, because there's like big pizzas and then there's pizza slices. There's different food types that you find throughout the game. So, it would refill my health and I would not die upon taking contact damage. So that's why you get backup food, because it can protect you. Today's special price is 20. Would you like your fortune told? Absolutely. Let's do a real fortune this time. Come on. If that's what you want, that's what you'll get. What's this? In all my years, I've never seen such a fate. I see nothing special happening in your future. Oh. Well, jeez. Well, that was a buzzkill. I went into the fortune tellers and nothing happened. Awesome. Amazing. Sometimes you go into the fortune teller and they say like great things are going to happen to you, and then you go outside and there's so many like Ramona kimonos outside that you can get lots of money from them. And other times they'll say like something bad's about to happen, and then when you go outside there's just tons of enemies that are waiting to kick your ass. And then you saw what happened to me. Sometimes nothing happens in your future, and then you get nothing. Nothing. This is Oedo Travel Agency. Today's special is a tour to Shikoku Island. Would you like to go? Yeah. So we have 3 packages. Kurobe gave us $100, so we could take package B. But I've been killing so many enemies up to this point, I'm just loaded with $1,000. I might as well go for the full package. I might as well go for $200. The higher the package, the more health you restore. So this will restore about 6 energy points, which gives me full life. Yeah. Alternatively, so depending on what package you pick up, the ending cutscene actually changes. They're not always on a boat. Ebisumaru doesn't always get, like, smoked by smog. So I'm gonna try package number B this time around, with Ganbei as our tour guide. Yeah. Oh dear. And finally, if you're a cheapskate, you're not going to get any health back when you enter this place, and unfortunately, Package A has no tour guide. Be careful on your trip. Oh god. When something's wrong in Edo, action must be taken. Goemon and Ebisumaru leave for Shikoku Island to meet Koban, the cat boss. This game is very zany. It's very fun to play, and maybe veteran viewers of mine probably already know that, because this is the first Let's Play I've ever done that is a redo. You know, I've never done a redo playthrough before, but hopefully this Mystical Ninja playthrough is so much better than the original. I'm already having fun talking over it again because I love this game. And yeah. I'll see you guys in part 2.